Improving the interface between your Mallet e-pedal and your shoe can be done by switching out the traction pads. Now the pedal comes equipped with a 1mm shim. If that's installed and you snap into the pedal and you see that you have motion, then we can simply install the 2mm traction pad to remove that play. In order to do that, you're going to need some simple tools. You'll be using a 6mm hex, an 8mm hex, 8mm socket, small slotted screwdriver, and a tire lever. In order to remove the traction pads, we're going to rotate the wing assembly until it's facing straight up so we can use the upper bar for leverage. Taking the small slotted screwdriver, you're going to fit it into the back of the traction pad, and there's a little cavity here on the body where you can just take your screwdriver and press sharply against the traction pad until you have a little gap. Once you have a gap there, you can use your tire lever now and the wing assembly to push the traction pad off the pedal for easy removal. And that will be the same for all sides. Once all the traction pads are removed, we'll go ahead and install the thicker 2mm version. In order to do that, just go ahead and get it inserted into the slot. You may need to use a table for leverage. Push firmly down until you can get started, and then take your tire lever to complete the process until it snaps in place. Again, do the same for all four sides. Now that we've replaced all the traction pads on both pedals, now we're going to need to reassemble. So we're going to put the spindle back into the pedal body. We're going to take our 8mm nut and screw it back onto the spindle and use our 8mm hex to snug that down. We're going to tighten that to 4 Nm. Now we'll take our 6mm hex with our end cap, reinstall that into the pedal, and tighten that to 8 Nm. Once installed, go ahead and test the system, making sure that the interface now between the pedal body and the cleat and the pedal is firm. Hi, I'm Tim with Crank Brothers, and today we're going to talk about how to install your Crank Brother pedals onto your bicycle. First thing we want to do is we want to determine left and right spindles. And the way you're going to do that is if you take a close look at the spindle itself, you'll see that on the left spindle, there's a groove on the spindle itself. Another way you can tell is by looking closely at the threads of the spindle, you'll see that they point up and to the left. On the right spindle, you'll notice it's flat and smooth on the spindle edge, and also the spindle threads point up and to the right. We'll go ahead and get ready to install this one onto the right-hand side. Check with the manufacturer and see if they use pedal washers or not. If they do, install that first. Go ahead and apply a little bit of grease to the pedal threads so we get the proper torque. And then a little rule of thumb that we like to use here at Crank Brothers is an over the top and towards the front technique as far as the wrench turning direction. Once you have that started, just go ahead and take that until it makes contact with the crank arm. And we're going to tighten that firmly to 34 Nm. Go ahead and repeat the process on the other side. Again, grease the spindles. And again, we're going to turn over the top and towards the front. Snug to 34 Nm. And you're ready to ride. Improving the interface on your Eggbeater 2, 3, and 11 pedal can be done using contact sleeves. As you can see with this example here, we have a little bit of play between the pedal body and the shoe sole. In order to improve this, we're going to install a contact sleeve onto the pedal body, but that requires us to disassemble the pedal a little bit. We're going to need a slotted 3/8 inch or 10mm screwdriver, an 8mm hex, 8mm socket wrench, and a razor blade. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the end cap from the pedal. Once the end cap is removed, that'll expose the 8mm nut inside. And using the 8mm hex to hold the spindle in place, we'll use the 8mm socket, and we'll go ahead and remove the spindle nut until we can remove the spindle completely from the pedal body. Once those are removed, you can go ahead and take your razor blade, and now we're going to cut the colored ring right off the pedal body. Just do this carefully. Once the color ring is removed, you'll notice there's a groove on the pedal body. We recommend soaking the contact sleeve in hot water in order to soften it to ease installation. If If you take a look at the contact sleeve, you'll notice that there's also a groove on the inside of the body that matches the groove on the pedal body. In order to install, you'll need a firm surface, and you want to just put the groove facing towards the pedal body and just go ahead and press until it snaps into place. Now we can install the other side, and again, look for the groove inside the contact sleeve. Align that with the inside of the pedal body. Using a firm surface, just press down and snap into place. And now your contact sleeves are installed. Now we just need to reassemble our parts, starting with the spindle. Tighten to 4 Newton meters. Now install the end cap. On the Eggbeater 2, you will tighten to 2.5 Newton meters, and on the 3 and 11 level, you'll tighten to 3 Newton meters. Now that the contact sleeve is installed, take a look and make sure that the tread of the shoe is making contact with the pedal body. If you still see a gap, you may need to use the 2mm or 3mm contact sleeve in order to improve the interface.